going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City daily transfer update. Remember, rolling out daily Manchester City transfer updates here on YouTube every single day with all the latest Manchester City transfer news. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. 300 likes is the aim. Do let me know your thoughts as well in the comments below. And finally, I wanted to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Sofascore. They're going to be keeping you guys up to date with all the latest football scores, all in one place, all in one app. It's a free app to download, very highly rated. They give you all the latest match information as well as all the statistics and analysis for you guys to enjoy from all the football games you love to follow. They also have the latest scores and information, statistics and analysis for all the other sports that you guys love to follow as well. So do go and check it out. Links and details there in the description. Very highly rated. It is free to download, so worthwhile getting if you haven't done so already. And anybody that does download Sofascore, using my link in the description or the QR code on screen does help to support the future content created here on my channel. So we're going to crack on with this video. We're going to start off with the outs. Got just one story to speak about, and that is an update on Kyle Walker, Manchester City's captain. Now, Givemesport have once more said that Kyle Walker is on the list of right backs that Saudi Arabian clubs are considering to try and sign this summer. They say that if Manchester City decide to sell Kyle Walker and Kyle decides that he does want the move, then Manchester City will be replacing Kyle Walker in this window. Now, at the moment, my expectation is Kyle Walker will remain a Manchester City player this summer. He will be staying at City. He won't be sold by City. That's the stance as of right now. However, Kyle Walker's currently on international duty with England at the European Championships, so his future, it hasn't been discussed by Manchester City. He hasn't had a chance to go on holiday and spend 3-4 weeks thinking about what he wants to do next, because that's what he did last season, and he ummed and ahed about the move to Bayern Munich, didn't he? So I imagine the same's going to be happening. We're going to replace Bayern Munich's name with Saudi Arabia, and Kyle Walker will have a decision to make about his future, and if he does decide he wants to leave, a deal will need to be negotiated between a Saudi Arabian football club and Manchester City when it comes to a price. Personal terms will need agreeing with Kyle Walker. Once that's all done and dusted, if it does get that far, he'll fly to Saudi Arabia, of course, do his medical, and he'll join one of the Saudi Arabian football clubs, and Man City will then start to sit down, identify replacements and make a move at some point in this window. Do remember this summer transfer window is very long. We're still not even at the middle of July, so we're not even halfway through the transfer window as of yet, and whilst there's still players out on international duty and players are still out on holiday, things aren't really going to start to get sorted, or the ball starts to roll about players who want to leave their clubs, including Manchester City, and including bringing players in and spending big money to replace, in particular in Man City's case, replacing superstars in their squad. So just patience is going to be needed in this transfer window, and I think that's going to be the same here for Kyle Walker and a lot of the other first team players whose futures still haven't been sorted out at Manchester City. Now, moving on to the ins, we've got the very latest on Harrison Miles, the under-16 England captain and Southampton Academy prospect. Now, Fabrizio Romano has said there's been some more movement and development on Harrison Miles joining Manchester City. It is believed that deal is now close to being sorted. Final details are being put into place. He'll then have his Manchester City medical. With how close it's been described, I imagine that at some point in the next week that Harrison Miles will travel up to Manchester, do his Man City Academy medical. He'll sign all the documents and paperwork and sign his Man City contract, and then he'll become a player for Manchester City's Academy. Very exciting prospect. Looking forward to seeing what Harrison Miles can offer to the City Academy, and who knows, maybe in 2 or 3 years' time you may be seeing him around the Manchester City first team squad. Now, moving on, we've got the latest on Dani Olmo. Just my luck, put my video out, we're speaking about all the latest on Dani Olmo, and we get another update literally minutes after I uploaded. So just going over the big news from yesterday in terms of Dani Olmo. Alex Crook over at TalkSport. A couple of you guys are asking, is he reliable? Well, he's backed by Fabrizio Romano here, so the information that's being relayed is reliable, but I always say when you're dealing with sources, always take things with a pinch of salt. If you start to see the same articles being reported by several different journalists from different countries, it starts to tell you there's maybe a little bit more in the stories, and then obviously you look out for your most reliable names to back up information that's being put out there. But as a whole, Alex Crook, fairly reliable as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, he's the transfer correspondent at TalkSport. He's confirmed that Man City are not interested in signing Dani Olmo from RB Leipzig this summer. And as I said, Fabrizio Romano has also mentioned and kept the same stance that he's had now for the last 3 or 4 weeks, which is Manchester City, as of right now, are not interested in signing Dani Olmo. That doesn't mean Man City aren't going to potentially make a move for him this summer. They may still choose to do so. They're definitely have interest in Dani Olmo. There's a huge hurdle between being interested in a player and actually making a move and wanting to sign a player, and that's always the big stumbling blocks with transfers. That's where we go from players being linked and interested in joining Manchester City and City being interested in them, and actually having some transfer sagas. And the only one really that we've had more reliability on has been Bruno G, and it's gone very quiet on that, and I'm going to presume that that's because international duty with Brazil has ended and he's now on holiday. They probably don't want to speak about football. His agent probably is on holiday as well. So I can't imagine things will start to heat up from that aspect for another couple of weeks, which takes you well past Dani Olmo's release clause, which does expire next week. Doesn't expire on Monday the 15th, but does expire on the 20th, which a week's a long time in the transfer window. Man City could choose to make a move, but it all depends on what City want to do with Kevin De Bruyne. It looks like right now he's going to be staying at City, which I think is brilliant news. And then Matheus Nunes as well, getting linked with the exit door. Again, he's been on international duty, so he's on holiday, so these things aren't going to get sorted for another 3, 4, maybe even 5 weeks. And so there has to be a lot of patience in this transfer window. Transfer windows with PSR and international tournaments happening all in one space, all in one time, means the window's always going to be difficult. It's not just us that's having the difficulties, all the other clubs are having the difficulties as well. There are clubs out there doing bits of business that can be done. City don't really need to add players to their squad. They just want to try and strengthen their starting 11. So they're looking for high quality players. So they'll only be making moves for players who really strengthen Manchester City's starting 11. So there's few and far between options to really go at. As I said, it does need a bit of patience. I certainly don't want Man City just to start signing players for the sake of signing players. And that leads me very nicely onto the final story of this video, and it's another new name, comes in the form of Joao Gomes over at Wolves, where I feel like with Man City getting linked according to HITC, it's literally just making a signing for the sake of making a signing here. Man City need to think long and hard about the kind of player that they want. We know that they've been interested in Lucas Paquetá at West Ham. That interest has been there for over a year. Betting allegations are still there. Turns out they could well be very true. So Man City don't want to touch that with a barge pole, which leads us on to a contingency. And as far as I'm concerned, in terms of contingencies and names that are being chucked out there, other than Bruno G, there hasn't really been anybody else. And so it may be a case where City might need a little bit more time to really think things through to make sure that we are signing the very best players. But I don't think that's an excuse, because the summer is long. You've got 3 months literally from June through to the end of August to try and get transfers sorted. So if City have identified players to add to their squad, they should be doing so and getting things put in place, in motion to make things happen. And as of right now, I don't think Joao Gomes, good player, is the answer for Manchester City. But also, signing Matheus Nunes last summer, I didn't think that he was the answer for City. And here we are 12 months later, maybe wanting to sell him, maybe not. I want him to be given another season, because you've got to have 2 seasons at City to showcase what you can do. But sometimes the transfer market isn't that forgiving, so to speak. So when it comes to signing players, Man City have got to be very careful, because you don't want to sign the wrong players. Add players to your squad. If squad players are leaving, that's fine. If you want to start strengthening your team, though, Man City need to be careful, need to be understanding. They need to ensure that they are making the correct signings for the correct positions and not just spending money willy-nilly when they don't need to do so. Because this kind of transfer with Joao Gomes doesn't sound like the kind of transfer that City would do, and it doesn't surprise me that Liverpool, United, Spurs, Arsenal's name also being chucked out there, and it doesn't surprise me that Wolves' stance, they don't need to sell, will charge a high fee. So I'd like to know your thoughts. I know there was some of you guys who will say Joao Gomes, quality player, City should be contemplating signing him. I just think with Wolves not needing to sell for the price that we're looking at, I think Man City could have a look at other options instead. There's lots of players that are going to get linked with City, and I'm here to try and work through what's fact and what's fiction. And I think that it's a no-go. I could be wrong, but not for me, in my opinion. Would love to know your thoughts, though, in the comments below. So there we go. That has been today's transfer update. If you did enjoy the video, please do leave a thumbs up. 300 likes is the aim. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description, too, if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships or any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do subscribe if you're new around here. Daily Manchester City transfer update. So we're back again tomorrow with another daily Manchester City transfer update. And remember, going to be putting my link out this afternoon for you to set your reminders for tomorrow, where we're doing my weekly show of the transfer show. So I will see you for that as well tomorrow. Finally, I want to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Sofascore. I'll see you all again tomorrow for the next daily Manchester City transfer video. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.